So the way I heard it was these containers were housing radioactive material of some kind, cesium-137.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Which is a byproduct. Yeah, it's a byproduct. It's like a nuclear.
It's about a 30-year half-life.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of like nuclear. It's a nuclear fuel or something like that, and they then took those containers and put shrimp in them, so the shrimp came up hot on like a normal check, right?
Okay.
So
all right, and if you're just joining us, we've just started, and yes, we're not talking about ham radio. We're just in the middle of a conversation. We do this all the time. When I say we, I mean Tim, but that's good because we always have something interesting to talk about. And this time it was Forrest Gump and radiation filled shrimp. So wow! Oh, there we go. And Philip's all set up to sit down to a bowl of those and make sure he's eating the ones that got
love shrimp, boiled shrimp.
Enough.
We're right by the intercoastal waterway. It's salt water.
Yeah,
you get them right out of the water.
Okay.
Oh, look, well, Kevin packed up his table to come watch the show. Isn't that cool?
Well, here we go. Kevin K0KLB, a man after our own hearts there, carrying that QRP flag like nobody else.
Hang on a second. You just did a video that said QRP, life's too short for QRP.
Absolutely.
So wait a minute. The very person who had a video, whose channel got me hooked on QRP, made me buy an 817, and now he's, oh no, we have to do that anymore. Oh
no, heck no.
And Mr. Kevin just dropped a fantastic video, a Field of Dreams type of theme on it. Wonderful video, sir.
Yeah, we're going to show that later.
That was a great video. He just dropped it today.
Oh, is there another one?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Jeez, don't bother. He's using the wrong antenna. So
the New Jersey QRP Club contest, and it was just fabulous.
Oh yeah, that's the what do we call it? Is that the Skeeter one or?
Yeah. He outdid himself.
So I look. I didn't watch the video yet, Tracy. I just saw the title, and I said, you know what? If that's the case, you're a turncoat.
Well, we evolve, which actually is the theme of this show, and Philip's going to talk to us a little bit about that. But let's kick this off properly since we're already a few minutes in. Thank you very much for joining us. Whether you're joining us live or whether you're joining us after the fact, it's a real pleasure to have you here. And we know we're in the teeth of it, right? We're on this very popular Thursday night slot, so we're up against some heavy hitters. And we appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch all or part of the stream. And we do our best to provide a high quality ham radio related conversation. And you know what? Tonight we've got Philip with us. Philip K4KOE. Many of you who have joined these streams in the past will know Philip from his caustic quips and his technical prowess. And Philip, tonight you join a very select group of two-time appearances on our stream. I think we've only had one before, and I think that would be Mr. Gaston, the tech prepper. Guys, tell me if I'm wrong about that, but
you are correct, sir.
Yeah. So Philip, we value you, and thank you for stepping into the breach here and providing us with some expertise from an engineering perspective, which I make fun of, but that's
fine. I can take it. I dish it out. I can take it up.
Sure.
At least up to a point. I'm very, very blessed to have all three of you gentlemen as my friends. I think you're judged by the character of the people with whom you associate with. Ended that sentence in a preposition. I'm sorry.
I like it. I'm feeling flattered.
And Tim and I have been friends for about 3 years, I think it is now. Maybe longer than 3 years. And it just developed from me being a customer of him. I bought one of his end-fed random wires, and it just communicating by emails, which he does with all his customers. I guess we decided we like being friends. And,
Good stuff.
And
All right.
it's good stuff, very much.
My heart is swelling.
Oh boy.
Hey, what's this? Sorry, guys. Looking forward to the topic. There was only one quesable panel member.
There's my friend Stacey Aaron just typed in. He's one of my POTA buddies. It's WA4IDS.
I
just assumed it was me they were talking about.
Hey, QRP Delta, great to have you with us. And as the banner says, please, if you don't mind, let us know your call and your location. We love to share that with the group and see who's coming in from where. Let's just go around the table quickly, gentlemen. Let's kick this thing off appropriately. See what people have been up to from a radio perspective over the past month. We had Ray Novak from ICOM on last month. Man, that was a lot of fun. But let's start off with Chris Kilo. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I've got to get this right. Dr. Chris, Kilo 2, Charlie Juliet Bravo. Chris, what's been up over your way?
Well, that was the first thing you brought up. So it's been a crazy month. Have been like all over the place. Like Tracy and I had our own little private video chat about a week before that all happened. My good friend Tracy could figure out that I was crashing and burning, so he was there to say, "Hey, how are you doing?" So anyway, busy month. Did the official graduation, so I'm officially, even though a diploma came in about a month and a half ago, I'm officially a doctor, so all good. Getting a kick out of that. Was at a harmonica convention last week.
Stop!
It was me and 390 harmonica players in one.
The cacophony, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. So I won't be picking up a harmonica for a while, that's for sure. But hey, radio wise, because I know that's the question, that's all anybody really cares about. I did get out. In fact, I came home earlier today. I was at went out to a campground here. I activated a POTA park here in Connecticut I hadn't done before, and got to use Tim's.
Wow.
Got to use Tim's 80 through 10 NFED. So yeah, so the guy in the center is of course the president of the seminary, and the guy to the left. All the way to the left is the my project chair that approved.
Well, he looks like you're giving him the diploma.
It does. Actually, that was an empty diploma carrier because the diploma was already home. So, but I got to wear that floppy hat that doctors get to wear. So.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. So that was a real treat to do that.
Now, back in the Middle Ages, didn't they actually wear that garb when they taught their students?
Yes. So it's funny. So the church admin, I pastor a church up here in Connecticut. So my admin said to me, she says, "Look, when no one's here at the church, you can put it on and walk around the church." I'm like, no. I said, "I'm going to put it on, stand out in the front stoop of the church with a bell. Hear ye, hear ye." So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really, it's a pretty big deal.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's absolutely wonderful, Chris. Okay, let me see if
I'm not used to being called doctor yet, but you can say it all you want.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to get your money's worth out of it. AI5DD in Oklahoma.
Is it Reverend Doctor or is it just Doctor?
It's actually so here. Technically, it's because it's a congregational church in New England. All pastors go by the title of Reverend. So when you add a doctor, it's Reverend Doctor.
Aha.
But here's my joke. So somebody comes and says, "You're a jerk." I'm going to say it's Dr. Jerk and Reverend Dr. Jerk to you.
I love it.
He spent 10 years in college just to be able to do that.
Just to be able to do that. Listen, I've been waiting for a long time to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, Chris, sorry, I think we interrupted you. You got a chance.
Yes,
you're crazy. You're just all kinds of stuff going on. You've had a devil of a time, like nonstop.
So it's good that it's actually reached the point where I can. Tomorrow, Patty is off tomorrow, as am I, and Saturday she's also. So we've got 2 days of nothing planned, nothing. So we're both just going to chill out for 2 days. So
that
nothing
is
wrong with that.
Yeah. So but I did get Tim's 80 through 10 antenna up and running, and stay tuned to the channel. I got a couple of videos I hope to be able to edit up and put up there for everybody to see it. Oh, there it is. That's the site I was at. The shack was set up in that little screen house there. And then behind, I don't know if you got the other. Did I show you the tent? Did I send you a picture of the tent set up?
You did send me a picture of the tent.
Okay.
Bear with me a second. If you want to keep talking, Chris.
It was a really nice site. There was like a driveway to it. So this was set back, which gave me the opportunity to get the full NFED set up an inverted V, so it worked. It worked great. So it was a nice site, but it poured last night. I mean, literally was pouring. There you go. I was smart enough to put set up a tarp on 4 posts, sloped to the back over that little tent. So I was bone dry in that tent, and I threw another big tarp over the screen house, so the radio gear stayed dry. In fact, a couple of my contacts, I was on 40 meters at night in the rain. You can hear it pounding on the tarp over my head.
That's my kind of activation, Chris.
No, not anymore, because I did a QRP, my friend. I don't check out those 100-watt radios. You know what I'm saying? But
all right, absolutely. Let me just do a little bit of rejigging here. Okay, so here we got. I just want to give some shout outs here. So AI5DD in Oklahoma. We've got the Traveling Ham KE0VIM portable in Washington State. Well, I hope you're having fun out there with that portable. Last activation with a QMX and an AX3. Now the AX3, I think people can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the Electromagnetic loaded whip, sort of like a back of the set type of whip with a 3 amp hour 12 volt battery? That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, what else we got here? And Kevin's offering congratulations to the doctor.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Okay, next activation will be with a 9-volt garage door opener battery.
There you go.
I love it. There we go, Tim.
Hey,
nice,
that's how you test those batteries.
That's what I used to do. And don't forget, survival item, even when it's dead, put it in your backpack. You can start it with steel wool.
Everyone did.
Get a fire going. All right. Probably use the Chameleon QRP MCOM2 NFED half wave. I don't want to tell Tim, but I might have acquired a used one.
Wow.
That I'm looking at.
That's high treason right there.
Crazy. Yeah, what is going on with you, man? You're turning from QRP. You're turning your back on your friend Tim here. Man, I don't know what to do.
What the heck did I just do? I have no idea.
You kicked Tim.
Hey, we just lost somebody. Oh, he just logged out. Oh, Lord, I am in trouble
you
now.
are in deep trouble now.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Wow, you kicked him right out.
Bailed on me. All right. So
Maybe he had to go to the can. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
All right. Listen, we've got Tim's back. All right. He's cooled off.
I don't blame you, Tim.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for logging out. I'm still a believer.
Here's what QRP Delta said. He had not enough power. He dropped off.
No, I have all the power. That's why I dropped off.
That's right.
That was a display of the power right there.
That's exactly.
Okay. So Chris,
I'm done.
Sorry, I'm trying to get screens, doing all the rest of it. Anything else you want to share about the camping?
No, just that I managed to activate a park, and the bands are weird. It's like we're in the high end of the sunspot. We had hit with a solar something because it was tough going, but it finally, things started moving. But the bands are just weird lately.
It's been rough. 20 meters during the day has been rough. I tried to work Kevin. I can't remember where he was.
Kevin's got the thunderstorms right near him.
Oh yeah, he does. Look at that. Wow.
Is that south of you? Is that what we're seeing there? I see the blue dot.
It's south. Yeah, south.
You're okay.
If you were in Iowa, I'd say that was corn sweat, but no.
I have no idea what corn sweat.
No,
I
tried to ask Kevin. I heard Kevin. I can't remember if he was on. He might have been on 20. He might have been on 40. I don't know. I think it was 20 because I could hear him. He was just below the noise, and I tried working him, and he couldn't hear me. I didn't want to say anything about the antenna, but
yeah,
I wonder if those wet corn stalks have a lot of absorption.
Well,
no, they expel. That's why in summertime.
That's only after you eat them.
If you look at the radar picture over like Iowa and Illinois, moving west, you see these large radar anomalies, right? And you'd think it's a thunderstorm, but it's not. It's corn sweat. My father-in-law told me about that, and I was like, "What?" This is about 20 years ago, right? And I'm like, "What? Corn sweat?" Yeah, he's pulling my leg, right? Ha. Very funny, but it's true. And I bet Kevin could tell us all about it.
He probably could.
And that's the moisture just exuded by large cornfields.
Exuded.
And moisture is very important in a corn stalk.
As you imagine it would be. Yeah.
And when it leaves the corn, you have popcorn.
What's that?
When it leaves the corn, you have popcorn.
Yeah, not the stock, but yeah.
That's when you know it's hot.
Right, exactly. It's like steam.
All right, good stuff, Chris. I'm so glad you finally got a chance to get out. Hopefully, you had, the rain.
It's okay.
It sounds like you prepared for it. You
I
know, you
did.
got the tarps out.
Yep,
You
all good,
were
man.
fine. You were dry.
Yeah.
You know what? I like camping in the rain as long as you got the right stuff.
That's right. It didn't bother me at all. I hung out, and when I was done with the radio stuff, I hung out in the tent, had the radio on, listened to the ball game. It was all good. Did some reading. All good.
That's terrific.
Yeah, the Mets actually, they lost last night, but I don't know if they won today. They probably figure out a way to lose a game today.
Are you a Mets fan?
Yeah, well, Patty is, so by default.
Yeah, I get how that works.
She is a rabid Mets fan. So.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So what is the Mets and the Rangers and the
not the Rangers, please? Oh my gosh.
Who is it?
Oh.
No, this is an Islanders house here.
Oh, okay, Islanders.
Ranger.
So Giants then too, right? Or is it Jets?
Jets. Just end the season. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, that gets too confusing after a while.
What is that they used to say about Philly? Eagles suck, drop the puck. But I guess they don't say that anymore, but they used to.
Well, Tim, you got to understand. So on Long Island, see, Shea Stadium where the Mets used to play, but Citi Field's right in the same place. It's physically on Long Island, right?
Isn't that where Jimmy Hoffa's buried?
Jimmy Hoffa. No, we all think he's under the 50-yard line at the old Giant Stadium.
Okay, the Meadowlands. That's right. Okay.
So the Mets played in Queens, and they still do. They play in Queens. The Islanders play on Long Island, right? Okay. And the Jets used to practice at Hofstra and played at Shea. So they were all. That was the long. So if you're a Long Island sports fan, those were your teams.
I see.
All right, guys, let's get back to radio here.
That's a lot of New York for one guy to handle.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that to you.
No, it's okay.
All good. Hey, listen, Tim, tell us a little bit what's happening in SAB.
Dude, it's just nonstop. It's always something.
Yeah.
So I finally got into like hunting parks again for a little bit over the past couple of weeks.
Which mode?
Huh?
Which mode?
All of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, all of them.
Didn't know.
CW mostly.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of CW. A lot of SSB. I have not done a lot of FT8 mainly because I'm sick of it. Yeah, here's some more New York for us. Great.
I know. Here it comes.
So just been busy. It's been hot. It's been rainy. Yeah. It's been busy.
Yeah,
busy.
But busy is good, right?
Oh yeah, busy's great. Busy's great. I love it. It's wonderful. My tower came down. That was the other big thing.
What?
We had a storm. Yeah, my tower came down.
No.
My
didn't tell
tower,
me that.
Okay.
Okay.
My military poles that I use.
Okay, the stacking ones, the 4-footers.
Yeah, the ones. Remember, once upon a time, I stuck my camera out the window, and you saw the.
You had a 17-meter hamstick dipole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So that came down, but this is the thing, right? So it's been up for so long, it had ivy growing up the pole the whole time.
Hey,
right?
We call that reinforcement.
Funny you should mention that, right? Because it didn't come down like that; it came down like this.
Yeah.
And it did the softest little touchdown on the roof of my
nice.
balcony over here, right? Just so came down, and I was like, okay. So I called Patrick. I was like, listen, I need your help. Come and taking this thing apart. So I got all the bits off the top or whatever, started working the way down the poles, and I had to pull the ivy off it, and the ivy trunk was like that near the bottom.
Ooh.
It was huge.
How long have you had those poles up?
Oh my God, that's been up for 10 years probably.
And now are they the fiberglass or the aluminum ones?
They're the aluminum.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the aluminum. I don't trust the fiberglass.
I've heard a lot from people who have responded to my videos on those fiberglass ones that the UV will cause them to start shedding, and then they're dangerous to handle.
That could be. Yeah, I don't. When presented with the option with aluminum or fiberglass, I just automatically went aluminum, because what I did was, when you fit them together, I actually tapped sections in the connecting points and ran little bolts in there,
right.
just for extra reinforcement.
And what caused it to come down, Tim? Was it a support line?
Yeah, it wins. One of the the guy wires broke, and it gently sailed to earth.
Well, that's the way you want it to happen for sure.
Oh yeah, sure. It missed everything. It missed our internet line comes off a pole over here nearby, and it just it dodged that and kind of went around, missed the birdhouse.
Good planning. Excellent engineering.
Yeah, I just and it kissed the top of the first floor here.
So are you going to put it up again? What are you going to do?
I don't know. It was a pain in the neck getting that thing up because I did it on myself, right? So I was out there, and I'd have to yell at Amy to come out and hold this rope, right? While I go over and do something else or whatever. And she's standing there holding the rope. How long am I going to hold the rope?
Oh, come on. Women never say stuff like that.
So I'm loath to. I mean, it was cool because I had a pulley attached to it and a cleat for like a flag raising up and down. And I would test antennas that way. I would test new designs. I would throw it up there, and it was about 30 feet to the side of the house and then another 40 or 50 feet to the end of the backyard. So I had little weights, right, on slick line. So I could just tie the ends of whatever I wanted to do and then drop the weights and they would spread out. So I would test stuff like that. Yeah. But I haven't used it probably in a year or two. So I don't know. It was a lot of pain getting that thing up. I was proud of it for a long time though too.
And you probably netted a boat full load of contacts on 17 meters.
Oh, for sure. 17 and 20. So it was 2 ham sticks, right? Opposed for I fabbed out a little aluminum centerpiece.
Okay, yeah.
And then stuck 2 ham sticks, ran shield to one.
Okay, so it wasn't a dipole.
It was a dipole, but it was made of 2 ham sticks.
Off center fed?
No, just
you had a 20 and a 17. I'm trying to envision this.
No, listen. 2 ham sticks cut out and would shield to one, center to the other, right? Out to a dipole. And I tuned it so it was on the edge of like 14,250 or something like that. And when I got it rent through to the shack, what I found was I could do 17 on it too, reasonably.
These were 2 20-meter ham sticks.
Correct.
Oh, okay. All right. So I thought you said you had a 17 and a 20. Okay.
No,
I'm with
you. I wanted to do 17 meters. In fact, I had a copper pipe dipole that I made for 17 meters, and I got it up there, spun it around, did the whole thing for a long time, but it just got too big and too heavy. You could kind of see it, when I started rotating it, it would kind of do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to go with the ham sticks. So,
Hey, so here's a question for you.
Shoot.
So you take a 20 and a 17 ham stick and you put them up. Can that be an off-center fed dipole if you got the right balun in line? Can you get some? Would it work at all?
Well, in theory, if you had 2 ham sticks and you had the long one, and
different. Yes. So one cup for 20. I'm just using that as an example. One cup for 20, the other for 17.
Well, you could do like a 2/3, 1/3 ratio, right? Because it would be 44-22 for 40 meters, like that. So if you wanted to cut that down for 20. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, you could just cut one of them short and leave the other one long, put a 4-to-1 on it, and it would essentially be that.
Right, but would it give you multi-band coverage? I guess is what I'm asking.
Why wouldn't it? Sure would.
That's my question. Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Cool. That's something I've thought about.
Now you got me thinking.
Uh-oh.
I can break something next. Yeah.
Here we go.
Anyway, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Well, it's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. That's wonderful. Anything else you want to chat? We're going to get into, and we're going to do Tim's tour of Twitter. I couldn't figure a nice 3-word just bite for X, so we're going to call it Tim's Twitter tour. Okay. So we're going to do that in a minute. We're also going to get into some of the YouTube videos that the guys around the table here have identified as being ones they've watched recently. They got some real value out of. So that's certainly coming. Okay, Tim, thank you very much. Great to hear what's going on your way. Philip, our guest tonight, what's going on now in your world, ham radio wise, over the past month or so?
Well, Typically, field day is the last activity I participate in until the fall. Guys, it's just brutal down here. 90, 95, 90% humidity, and this boy here can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So I did field day with the Middle Georgia Radio Association, and I was using a certain person's brand new product on a 40-foot spider beam pole with an inverted V running CW at 100 watts, and I scored my all-time lifetime best score on CW. Blew my mind. Maybe the bands were in better shape. I've never made that many contacts on field day, and I was very pleased with that. I beat my last year's score by a substantial margin. It's a personal goals I'm setting here, and after that, pretty much we take a break until late September because frankly, it's too hot to do anything here. At least for me, it is. Some people thrive in that stuff. And also, within the last couple of weeks, I've celebrated 46 years as a ham. I got licensed in August of '79 as a wee little novice.
Congratulations, Philip.
Back when they mailed your test to a proctor, another ham, and he would give you the tests.
Yeah. What year was that? 79?
That was 1979. Actually, the license was granted on 8 August 1979.
Oh, that's so mine was it was July of 76, so just 3 years before.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I had the same thing. I mailed it to a proctor, and then he had to mail it back, and yeah.
And other than that, Tim and I have been batting around some new ideas. I had another one of my crazy harebrained schemes for testing out stuff, and this man agreed with me. It'd be neat, so that's what we're working on right now. Just got some parts in here from Tim, so we have a super secret. Unless he decides to divulge it, we got something neat coming up.
Super
Only
secret.
I can think of this.
Well, we are here in a group with just our closest friends tonight.
Well, I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet because I don't know what kind of footing I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
We'll
Shaky.
see.
Shaky.
Yeah, shaky to be sure. There's no doubt about it, but it'd be cool. We're just goofing. It's not like new lines or anything, but one of the things I like to do is really beat the crap out of my antennas, right? And find ways to, do crazy things with them. Things that you couldn't do with.
Just say hello to the boys here. We're doing a live stream.
What were they talking about? An MCOM 2 or something like that? You probably wouldn't want to do.
Dr. Sherry just walked by.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
She has a degree in genetics and public health. She could take a sample of your tissue and tell you how badly inbred you are.
Ooh.
What if you already know?
But only if you got a prescription.
Okay.
Tim,
I want to get back to ham radio.
Tim, I have to say that all that testing
we've been thinking about testing Trump. So
yeah, Chris. What?
All that testing you do pays off because the antennas are built so well and all the it's funny, all the little details are thought about. And we're talking like wire antennas, but just the way the links work and the connectors using on the links and the little clips to take the stress off.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that, right? Because I had a conversation with someone the other day, and if you notice that on that particular antenna, there's a lid, right? And if you examine the lid closely, towards the back of the where the connector fits in, there's a slight little lip, maybe 0.5 millimeter or so, which is very, very tiny. You wouldn't even notice it unless you were, super anal about that kind of thing. And so he says, well, this lid doesn't fit. I was like, well, no, it does, right? What that lip is for is if you ever have to get inside of it, you could take the screws off, right? And then rather than try to jam a putty knife in between the lid and the top, you've got a spot where you can kind of, get some leverage from. So.
Well, I can tell you that where I was yesterday in the rain that I got, that antenna survived without a problem.
See, excellent.
No worry.
And I get that question all the time too. As long as you wrap the connectors, if your connectors are properly wrapped, you can leave that thing up forever. Right. In fact, the one that I had attached to my aluminum poles had been out there for 2 or 3 years or whatever. I've got it. Hold on.
Yeah, I've all the products I've gotten from Tim, they're just built so well. It's like nothing to worry about.
3 years ago, this past field day, I put up the first version of this antenna with a capacitor in the middle.
Yeah.
I did field day with the Savannah Club using the first version of that.
Yeah.
So that was,
well, that's a big one.
Yeah, this is the 100-watt version, and it was out there for, I don't know, 2 Chicago winters at least.
Yeah.
You know?
No problems.
Yeah, no, and it came down gently with the other one. No crack, no nothing. Still solid.
Yeah. But all good stuff.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I've been using Tim's antennas for years. Never had one let me down. They're built as a rock, and I don't necessarily treat my antennas. Well, I certainly don't treat them as well as my radios, which go into a padded box. Not the same with the antennas. Never, never had an issue with Tim's stuff. Pulling it up, bringing it down, packing it away, tossing it here and there. Great stuff. Okay. Thank you guys. So Philip, you've been doing some stuff. Let me just I'll just quickly mention this as far as myself, a couple of items. First one is that we never got a chance to chat much about this, about my field day, because we had Ray from ICOM on last month. What you don't know, if you happen to see my field day video, was that I got heat stroke. I packed up. It took me 2 hours and a bit to pack it because I do everything myself. I had 2 shelters to tear down, the antenna to bring down, all the rest of it. I got home and I was fine, and then all of a sudden, about an hour later, I got it bad, and so I suffered for a few hours. First time that's ever happened to me. And I got to tell you, it's like I've never experienced that before. And I've been in hot field days before. And my mind starts to play tricks on me. It's like, maybe you're a little bit older now. Maybe you're a bit more susceptible to this stuff that you never were before, which leads me to think, okay, am I going to have to be more cautious going forward? But just throw that out there. If you are doing field day or you're working out in the hot sun, because it's been hot this summer all over. Like, it's hot in Canada. Like, I'm not joking you. We're getting the same.
Well, here it's burning.
What's that?
Here it's burning.
Yeah.
And that if you go into the woods, they arrest you or something.
Oh God, please let's not start on that. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Anyway, I don't want to devolve into that stuff. That breaks me up.
I'm worried about you, Tracy, when I saw your plans for field day. And that was exactly what I thought. He's gotten too ambitious. Because you got to take that stuff down.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you.
And, but I give myself lots of time, and I chose a spot that had lots of shade. I figured I got this licked. Well, I didn't. Now, Chris, you and I were chatting prior to field day on the stream about that shelter that I had purchased.
Yes.
And there is one scene in my video, my field day video, where I've got the camera on the outside and I'm on the inside, and I am red. I didn't know it. I didn't notice it. Yeah. But I'm sitting there making contacts, and I'm like red hot. My buddy Tom showed up for a couple of hours in the afternoon, and he says, "Man, you got to bring a small table out here and operate outside." He says, "You're not looking so good in there."
Yeah, that screen house, it's because the screen is so dense that there's no airflow through it. Even with a fan, there's probably just not enough. Yeah.
No, and I had 4 fans going.
Yeah.
They didn't.
The hot air around is all it was doing. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so that sort of wrapped it up. I do want to show you this. Last month, there was a local ham radio swap meet, and I bought what I think might be, and I may do a video on this, might be the best portable tuner ever made. Manual portable tuner. It's the Kenwood.
Oh, yes.
T130. Now, this thing is built like a brick outhouse. I
Ooh,
mean,
what I missed,
if
what I
I
missed.
dropped this on my foot, I'd break 2 or 3 toes. This sucker is, they haven't made them since the 80s, but man, oh man. And
Is
this
that the
will
little Kenwood
handle,
tuner?
it's an old Kenwood tuner.
Oh, cool. Yes.
It will,
I love them.
it will match up to a 10-to-1 SWR.
Yeah.
Now look at the size of the unit. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's not much bigger than it. Actually, it's probably smaller than some QRP radios. And it'll handle up to 150 watts. So I picked this up and I thought, you know what, I'd had my eye on one for a while. And so I'm looking forward to getting that out into the field.
Didn't you used to have the other Kenwood manual tuner?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a big one, and I had the little the older version of that.
Right.
Didn't have the WARC bands.
Okay.
That was the AT120. This is the AT130,
Okay.
which does have the WARC bands on it. Now
Cool.
you could use the other one for the WARC bands.
Where'd you get it?
Choose the. Sorry.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, a local ham radio swap shop that was going on.
Would you end up having to fork out for it though?
It was a. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I had my story mixed up. I did go to that swap meet, but I actually bought it off a guy locally who had it listed on an online site, and I paid about, I think it was about $85 US for it.
Oh wow,
That's great.
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Well,
You
it
know,
didn't
we ought to
last
have-
forever, right?
Yeah, we ought to have like a gear scoring segment here. I got a buddy down in Texas, right? And he's like I don't know how he does it, but he's like the finder.
Oh,
of
we all know a
stuff.
guy like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and he's like, oh, I got this. I got
Always gets the deals.
I know, right? And he's like, well, you got to sign up for this. It's like this got free stuff app or something like that. Sign up for this and you'll get notifications, right? I get notifications of like, you know, old car seats and crap like that. And somebody's giving away a junky old bicycle or something like that. He had an old Yaesu pop up, like, the 101 FG or something like that. Somebody wanted like $200 for it. He sends me something today. It's like, I found a Kenwood TS 430. Guy wants like $250 for it, but it still works, kind of thing. And I was just like, what is it with you? You know,
Some people, I'll tell you, they just fall into like, and guys like that. If you've known a guy like that, you'll know it doesn't just extend into ham radio, but it's all kinds of other things. I got a buddy who found himself, his neighbor's wife was selling a Honda Pilot. Now it was a number of years old, but it had something like 130,000 kilometers on it. He paid $3,000 for it. It had a mark on the paint that she didn't like, and she wanted a new vehicle. And it's like, and my buddy, he's the same one that went to Dayton with me, and he did the dickering for the SG 2020, and got me a smoking hot deal on that and the matching tuner. But he's always coming up with this stuff, and it's like, geez, that's a superpower.
Oh, it certainly is. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but that was a heck of a deal.
It is.
Yeah, no, I'd had my eye on one for a while, so I was happy to see one come up. So there you go. That's that part of it. You know what? We're 38 minutes in, and we do want to do Tim's tour of Twitter and take a look at some YouTube videos. But I think first, before we get there, Philip, I reached out to you because we needed to figure out what we were going to do for this stream, and you had a really interesting idea, and that was evolving and I'm going to let you word it because I think I'm going to screw up what you had mentioned, but really, starting off into portable radio and then evolving past that. And I think even your general thought was, about radio in general. Did you want to maybe kick this topic off a little bit and give some thoughts on it?
Well, the main problem is, and it may be a problem or not, is I'm encumbered. I'm doubly encumbered. I'm an electrical engineer. I have a totally different mindset about this from some people. And Tracy, you and I started communicating very early in this process, and y'all were amazed at what I took out to the field. 2 Apache 4800 boxes and 4 duffel bags. I had the kitchen sink. I was 100 watts all the time. Yeah, doing that. Well, it only took me about 38 activations, 39 to get tired of that. And it's kind of like it's a developing skill set. You do things over and over again, and you find out what works for you. It's kind of like a pair of shoes. Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different mindset, different goals. And so over time, the weight of evidence, literally and figuratively, convinced me to start downsizing, taking only as little. Because when you get done, like you experienced here recently, Mr. Tracy, you've got to break that stuff down when you go home. And so I've gotten it down quite a bit. If I'm going to be going to a certain place, I plan my antennas out. Well, what am I going to take to this location? Or it's like my trip up into the mountains. I was very limited in what I could deploy because we had big crowds. You couldn't have any antennas laying around. So as you progress in this, you find out what works for you. You find out which gets you the best contacts, which is easiest to match. I believe Tim is with me on this. I don't want to fiddle with an antenna tap or anything of that nature when I set up. I want to set it up, forget about it, and have it work the first time. Because I went through that as well. I've used ground-mounted verticals with sliding coils and loading coils, and they work great. But you're sitting out there with an antenna analyzer in your hand saying, you got to pull this whip down maybe a half an inch. What's the laughing for? What you laughing about, man?
I see so many of those videos, and the guys, they run out there and they got their little wing nuts and shit, and they're putting up the pole and get the tripod and running up the rail. But Jesus Christ, man, I'm ready to go.
I've been there. You get tired. If you're like me, you get, which unfortunately, if you're like me, you get tired of that very quickly.
Oh,
but I look at it from a different perspective. I want to maximize my radio enjoyment. I don't want to spend a lot of time fiddling with antennas. I want an antenna that's efficient, that it's got a good radiation pattern. I don't have to spend half an hour putting it up because that's a half an hour. You got to break it down. It usually takes long because you're dead dog tired or whatever. But that's just my perspective. Some people like to do the same thing every time over and over again. They just want to play radio and talk to people. For me, my mindset, that gets boring really quick. So I've tried out a lot of different things. I've got 3 field radios that I use now. And that's just my particular mindset. What I do may not be good for somebody else.
Right.
Now, I'm going to bring up one thing here. Tracy, about a year ago, you purchased a 100 amp hour battery, and you did a video on that about, does this solve my POTA problems? I don't remember the exact theory of that, but the prices of the 100 amp hour batteries have really come down. And so early June, I went up to the mountains of North Carolina to take a vacation, and I took my 100 amp hour battery. And I'm one of these people that has to run a CPAP at night. Well, right after I get there, there's a honking big thunderstorm up in the mountains, and we lose power. So I hooked that 100 amp hour battery up to an inverter, 300 watt inverter, and ran my CPAP all night. That power was down when we were at from like 9 o'clock Friday night till 2 o'clock the next day. So they had some damage done up in the mountains, very, very heavy rain. So I went to, I believe where I went was a Water Rock Knob. It's about 5,500 feet elevation. That was the first spot I visited. Actually, no, I went to Fontana Dam that day. And that's very pretty up there. So I went to Fontana Dam and a Water Rock Knob, and then Klingman's Dome, which for some reason Tim thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
But the battery I had, and it had a lot left on it. It only used like 5% of that 100 amp hour battery all night, pumping air into me.
Wow.
Really?
So, yes.
Wow.
So that battery saved my bacon.
Yeah.
Sweet.
A lot of people have to wear those. I've been having to wear those since I was about 35.
You know, and what's a good night's sleep worth? $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think Klingman's Dome is funny.
Klingman's Dome is like the Clint Eastwood movie, The Gauntlet.
Oh, with Clint Eastwood.
Yes, it's similar to that.
Yeah.
Just think of that. Because you're not going to just play a radio. You're going to sit there and talk to people. That's another story.
The Gauntlet. Wow, that's reaching deep.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Tracy, did I answer your question? You, as the host here, you typically lead these things. Is there anything else you want to ask me, sir?
Yeah, so let's talk about it. What did you initially take, and what do you take now? And then let's look into the future and see, okay, what is Philip? Because I know you're going to continue to think about this. What? Tell us about your progression.
I started with an FT897D with an AT897 Plus tuner, which is fabulous. I like that radio so much I spent some money to get it fixed. The display had gone on. So started with that 20 amp hour battery, ground mounted butter stick antenna with a 9-foot whip on it with a single tuned elevated radio. And I'm telling you, Bud Drummond, he's a good guy, but that having to find your tap points on that coil, that's challenging. And I got lazy. I just get it close and let the tuner and the 897 take it. So I started out with that, and then it just snowballed after that. As I got more experience, like I said, it ended up being 2 4800 Apache boxes and 4 duffel bags. Anything I could conceivably need, I took it. And this included solar panels.
Engineer.
Well, like I said, after you unload that stuff 38 times, in my case, you start saying, we got to do something different. I'm a little hard-headed. It only took 38 trips to the park to do that.
Surprised you didn't run the gym
right around the corner. So what I use now most of the time is a G90, a small Morse paddle that I got from CW Morse, 12 amp hour lithium ferrous phosphate battery, BioNO.
Mm-hmm.
And the smaller sizes are actually affordable. And some sort of sloper usually, and one of this guy's antennas. And they work great, of course. That's my typical setup. And right. Sometimes if I have this weird hair, if I want to run digital, I'll take my my GTAC F110 tablet with me and run digital modes. Usually I'll run RIDI or JS8 Call or Vara AC. Very rarely run FT8. It's just not my thing. But as long as people are using the bands, hey, that's important. So that's what I've evolved to. Usually I got one little backpack. I've got it all inside of a Swiss Army backpack. And that pack's 30 pounds. That takes everything, the radio, the battery, any tools I might need, coax, usually 50 feet of ABR 240 coax, which is very good stuff. One of Tim's chokes. My wife's got some allergies going on there. And that's it. And I'll take an antenna analyzer with me. Yep. But I distilled it down to one backpack. And you can handle one 30-pound pack fairly easily.
So you bring any like spares of any kind?
Usually I have spares in the trunk of my truck. Okay. And like coax and most of my field antennas are in the trunk of my truck. It's a Ridgeline. You can do that.
Right.
That's
a great idea because what I'm doing, I have a mine's getting worse. The pack I'm carrying is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And just this past trip, I was like, man, this thing this is pushing like 40 pounds easy. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's got the 817. It's got the the G106 I got. It's got a couple of hunks of coax. It's got every one of Tim's antennas I own. Microphones, a couple of BioNOs. Spare this, spare that. And I'm like, I don't know if I need to carry. So I'm thinking maybe I could split it in half and have like the spares kit and leave that in the truck, and then have the stuff.
Right, leave it in the truck.
Yeah, because what I leave out there now, I leave all the like the spider beam mast stays out there. The Wolf River coil antenna, which I haven't deployed in I don't know how long, that's out there. But that's it. So I could leave more stuff out there.
My favorite is the Spider Beam 12-meter pole.
Yeah, I think that's the one I have. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's almost too big, but if you guy it right, it'll stay up as long as you don't have a torrential rain and your stakes work their way out of the ground, which I've had that happen one time, and I think Tracy has too.
Yeah, I did.
But for real quick ones, I'll use one of those 10-meter carbon fiber poles. But you can only run those in slopers usually, because if you run anything with a wire going up, it's just going to interact with it. Works very well. Carbon fiber, just drive a stake in the ground, stick the pole over it, and you're ready to go. 2 ways a ton. I've had plenty of failures. It's just my luck in life, I guess. I've had stuff fail.
What kind of stuff you had fail, Phil?
Ground-mounted antennas, like the base-loaded verticals. Usually the failures are in the coaxial connector to the 3/824 thread stud. Some companies cut corners on the insulator that goes between the center and the shield.
Yes.
And you can't see it. It looks fine.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there sending CW on the G90, and you're just tooling along having a grand old time, and the SW star starts bumping it. I think I spent an hour fiddling with that one at an activation. It was cold. So what's wrong with this thing? It was a cheap angle bracket that I used on my custom tripod.
Yep.
And you don't want to be troubleshooting stuff when you're out in the field.
No, you don't.
It's not fun. So it's a progression. I'll probably mix it up again. I got this G106. When it cools off, use that a little more, and the bands get better because we're out of this summer daytime absorption thing going on, where the DE gets really enhanced, and that just kills propagation during the day. Probably going to use a G106 a little more.
How did that? You sent me an email about updating the firmware or software on it, right?
Right, and one of the problems with that, it worked great.
It does.
It killed the popping problem. When you go back from transmit to receive, you get a real big burst of loud volume, and then it kicks back down. That's been fixed.
Okay, all right. So I got to go dig that email up again and go through. How hard was it to do?
Just follow the instructions to the letter. It's like loading software in any other. You've got to use some sort of a terminal program to do it. The temporarily offline guy, he's got a video showing you how to do it.
Okay.
I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Steve.
Steve, I use that, and he covers it very well.
Okay.
I didn't break my radio, so
there you go.
That's not a bad little radio. I think I paid $215 for mine shipped.
Yeah, I think that's what I paid something like that.
Pour it out.
Well, that's AliExpress.
Dr. Sherry making noise back there.
I got mine from Radioddity.
I think I'd get mine from Radioddity too. I don't know that I'd buy that off of AliExpress.
Oh wow, it's come down.
Well, that's AliExpress.
Okay.
Yeah,
so okay, guys. As somebody who is not the fondest of Chinese radios, why do you say that? No, it's true, but we don't have to go there. Why would you say Radioddity versus AliExpress?
Because Radioddity is based in the United States. You're not going to get the wrong vendor and get ripped off. That's pretty much.
I'll just say it. I don't know that that's a real thing. Okay. I know the one that I buy from Radioddity is going to be a real Jagu G1 or whatever, right? If I buy something off AliExpress, I'm just as likely to get a block of wood in a box. Sorry.
I agree. I wouldn't do it.
No thanks. Yeah. And I want somebody, if I have a problem, I'm going to have somebody I can talk to and deal with, right? That's here rather than, trying to get a hold of like the AliExpress customer service. It just, no. You got time for that.
Those are all the right reasons. Yeah,
and if it's an extra $100, it's an extra $100 if that's what I was going to do. But that's what I would do.
It's not bad for the money you pay. You just got to look at it and appreciate it for what it is.
Correct.
It's about a 6 or 8 watt. And the first time I took it out, it does great on CW. I wouldn't call it a great sideband rig, but CW and digital. You just got to find an act for setting the levels on it. It doesn't have an ALC meter.
Right. It's not meant to be a contest grade radio. It's not.
Oh no. Oh wow.
No, it's got to be a bundle, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And by the way, just for people watching, we have no relationship with Radioddity. I'm just showing
Stand
this
by
for.
Yeah.
I'm just showing this because we're talking about them.
Yeah, just click on the radio there. How much is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
you're
bundle.
right. This is a bundle.
Oh, and it's Canadian too. That's the other thing.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. It's a peso. Yeah, Canadian peso. There we go.
So,
You want to know what it is, US?
yeah.
Well, I might be out here. Let me fix that.
Oh,
There we go.
How much is it?
$199.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, $200. Yeah.
Right.
Look, it worked for me, and I got one of the earlier versions of software in it, and it worked fine. There you go.
So, Philip, have you had a chance to use it yet?
oh yeah, I used it at Magnolia Springs State Park back in April. I think I made about 25, 30 CW contacts with it before that midday absorption started hitting, from getting into the late spring.
Yeah.
Did very well.
Really?
Little
So-
3 amp hour Bio-Uno.
There you go.
Mhm.
It's all you need.
Now, did you find that the filtering was adequate enough to keep neighboring stations out, or was it not that busy?
I really didn't have a lot of problems that day. Like I said, it's not a contest grade rig.
Right.
A little pair of headphones that go with it.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I really do need to use it. Like I said. And here's my second little key I bought was CW Morse US. And that's all you need. All you need to add to this is some coax and an antenna.
Check
Yeah,
this
everything I
out.
take usually fits in a toolbox.
But
the last time
Dr. Chris, like I said, for $215 shipped.
Right. You can't go wrong.
It's a radio.
Right. It's great. And listen, I bought it. The intention for me to buy that radio was as a backup for my 817. That's
Yes.
it. I go out, I'm doing an active, I got everything all set up. Oh, the radio dies. Hey, you know what? I'll grab this right now. I did an activation with it. But remember, I have an earlier version of software in it. So it's kind of like, all the other goofy little issue quirks with it. I was like, well, whatever, the thing works, Would I want to go out and operate field day with it? No.
No, absolutely not.
No.
The
But
version
I
one.
get it for that. I got it to be a backup. If I'm doing a port activation and my 817 throws up, okay, I'll take the G9, G106, set it up, and I'm good to go. Done.
I think the current firmware is 1.4.
Okay. All right.
It fixes the AGC blasting issue with it. But like I said, it's a minimal features. It does the job.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
But the big popularity of the G90 is it's right there, and it's got a fantastic antenna to it, or it doesn't cost an arm and a leg.
Right.
You got to be careful with them, though.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. You just break things.
This is another story. I'm rough on equipment. We've been through here before. I'm saying I'm too much, but 20 watts is a sweet spot of power, and the U.S. military had this figured out. I used to be involved in military man packs in the early 2000s. We're freshly married and all of that stuff. Actually, I had an article published about it. 20 watts is the way that balances a power versus effectiveness and how many batteries your POG's got to run around with. 20 watts is right there. It's only about 1.1 dB below 100 watt radio. And you really, with the when you see that the difference in your contact scores, because I ran a 100 watt FT897 for a while, then I said we need to try something lighter weight. I've really not noticed any difference in my contact scores using a 100 watt radio versus a 20 watt radio. That's why they sell those things like hotcakes. Not as much as some of these other radios, but they're still selling it. I'm kind of if I'm gonna run a sideband, I want to run less than 20 watts. That's just me. It's got to be.
I operate QRP sideband, and I'm it's a challenge, but it works.
This does not have a processor in it.
Correct.
That's the problem with it.
Right.
You know, and I heard people, I'm going to come up at this point because I heard people for years say that was the problem with the FT817. There was no built-in speech processor. You had to go out and buy one of these soda beams speech processors that plugs into the microphone. I think, Philip, you asked me about how effective it was. I've made literally hundreds and hundreds of contacts without a speech processor with the FT817. You know, it really is about the antenna when you're dealing with a 5-watt radio. And believe me, I made a bunch of contacts. Anybody who's familiar with that FT817 will understand that the way they display the power output setting on the little LCD, number one, it's tiny. Number two, it's completely counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I made so many contacts when that thing was set to 2.5 watts, thinking it was set to 5 watts without a speech processor.
Right.
A speech processor is great if you're going to use one of these crappy low to the ground compromise antennas, but you put yourself an N9 SAB, full-sized half wave up there, you're going to make contacts.
That's right.
Yes, you will.
I have the Soda Beam speech processor, and I did a really like crude kind of test with it with a scope just to see what the wave pattern, the waveform looked like. And yeah, it does some compression on it. It does, process a little bit. So it works. I have it in line. Sometimes I go without it. It depends.
Hey, guys, I'm going to interject a sec here because Mike, N2MAK, by the way, Mike, I don't know if you saw his comment earlier, but he was backing up the Radiodity story with regard to, if you buy the G106 from them and you have a problem, they'll swap it out. I guess he had that issue with his G90 and they took care of him.
Yeah, they're good. They're good to deal with. Yep.
When we had Ray on last week, now I believe when we were talking, because we talked to Ray before the stream, Ray from ICOM N9. Oh boy, I've forgotten his call sign. Sorry, Ray. But Ray from ICOM, Ray Novak. We were talking about. I was talking about the 705 because I've got a 705 right over here, and I mentioned to him one feature that I wish the 705 had that my old ICOM 7410 had that worked fantastically. And he said, "What's that?" I said, "It's the voice squelch." Ray said, "You know what? I think they could easily add that in firmware." And he made a note of it while we were talking to him. So here's Mike saying that ICOM has released a firmware update for the 705. Now, I don't think they could turn around something like that in a month. Or even if they listen to Ray on stuff like this, but that's pretty cool to think about.
It'll be the VE3 TWN version of software.
Voice. Absolutely. So that's fun. Thanks for mentioning that, Mike. I'll have to go see about that. I'm not the guy, by the way. I am never the guy. I've learned in the computer industry for years and years and years. When there's a system update, I'm going to leave it for a while and see how it lands in the field before I subject my hardware to it. So we'll see how that goes. And then maybe I'll do it down the road. Okay. So there you have it. Chris, do you have thoughts on this, perfecting your field gear?
Oh, well, yeah, I've been messing with what I bring out there over and over and over again. And like I said, it was last year I went with this. I forgot what YouTube video I watched where a guy had bought this big, range bag, and I said, "Oh, that's what I need," and I got that. And yeah, everything loads into it, but the thing weighs a ton. It's convenient; everything's in one place. It's great, but and I think part of my thinking too is every time I go out and do a pod activation, I kind of look at it like it's practice for if there's a disaster and I got to be out there with a radio for some reason, right? I don't know what that reason would be, but if I have to be out there with the radio, so I'm kind of like this way. I carry all the crap out there with me, so I know where it is, and if I have an issue, I can work around it quickly because I have everything with me. So, but I like Philip's idea of making it a little more modular, so it kind of be like the spares kit can just stay in the truck with all the other antenna stuff I leave in the truck. I used to bring it all in and out of the house, but I'm like, you know what? I always take the truck anyway, so I just leave it in the truck. So I could just do that. I could put like a backpack out there with just like the spares stuff, not radios, just like coax and connectors and maybe a couple other Tim's antennas, stuff like that. and then lighten up the load in that bigger pack that I have. So, or just get rid of that and get something smaller. So, look, you learn, you constantly experience. You just learn what you're going to do. So.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chris. Hey, check this out, Tim. I love your antennas, Tim. This is from Zach. I used your QRP 40-meter off-center fed dipole in Romania. I love it. Your stuff's global, man. Had it up for 6 months in very windy conditions. Worked great.
Yep. Top drawer. It's top drawer stuff.
Tim, you're quiet.
Everything I take, it comes in. I've got two setups, right? I've got the little toolbox with the 817. And I went to, when we were up in Minnesota doing that. So I had the radio, the wind keyer, my laptop, 10 feet of coax, slick line with the weight and the antenna, and that was it, right? And the battery. And it all fit into like the little Zebco box.
Nice.
Like,
you carry a lot of
shit around.
With your radios are in those foam cases, so you're bringing all those out, right?
So but it's kind of mission specific, right, Chris?
Mm.
So field day is a big thing for me. CQ worldwide single sideband in October, that's a big thing for me. That's a base camp. I'm setting up. I've got 3 days to do nothing but radio. I load up the adventure mobile and I get there, and I don't mind spending an hour or two setting up. Well, okay, 2 hours plus to set up. And yes, Philip, you did warn me about field day, and I scoffed at you. And
I'm used to it.
But he's right though. It is because I've got another setup too. That's the 2-tiered box with the 40 amp hour batteries.
Right.
With the whole thing.
So I take, like, I've got a messenger bag here. If I'm not doing a field day or a CQ worldwide single sideband weekend, if I'm just going camping, like I'm in a couple of weekends, I'm supposed to be going camping with my brother-in-law. Hopefully this one goes off as planned, because my trip up to Lake Superior got kiboshed earlier this month. I'll just tuck a rig into the messenger bag. There's plenty of room in there for a battery, for coax, for a couple of Tim's antennas. I never take just one. And that's it. Like, literally, I'll take an iPad to do logging, and that's it. So, it's mission specific.
So in that case, like, you wouldn't care if the radio died. You're like, okay, I'm done.
You know what? Because in that case, for example, if I'm up there with family, right, I have to try to find a couple of hours where family doesn't mind that I'm buggering off and doing my own thing. Any more than that, and why am I even bothering going camping with family? And I've been on trips where I've actually not used the radio, because I felt it was more important to spend the time with the family than to actually pull out the radio.
Yeah.
So, I'm traveling light. If I get the chance, it's great. Oh, and of course, I didn't mention my camera gear, because if I do something like that, I'll want to take a tripod and my camera and a battery, etc. for that. But that's the idea. The only time I get to go camping by myself is field day and CQ worldwide. The other scenario is going out to a park for an afternoon, set up and operate for a few hours, and that's it. And again, that's very mission specific, because when I go out on something like that, my goal is not to activate a park and get as many contacts as I can. It's more about, okay, here's what I want to try. Here's what I want to test. I want to test this antenna in this configuration. I want to see, and understanding what the bands are like. See, okay, this is a real challenge. Let's see how this goes. So again, very focused. All right, guys, this has been a good chat. Thank you very much. But we've got some other stuff we want to get into here. And I'd like to start off with Tim's tour of Twitter, because he's identified some recent Twitter posts that he thinks would be interesting to discuss. So give me just a sec here. I'll share the screen. Let's see what we got here. This is not helping me. One sec, guys.
So I love ham radio Twitter. If you're not on ham radio Twitter, you should get there. It's a lot of fun.
Sorry, it's not. I have it all laid out here, but the software we use for streaming is not showing me. We may have to pull these up in random order, Tim.
He's got a cable problem, or wait, he left the key at home. What
Okay.
happened?
I guess we're going to do this the old-fashioned way and just sort of randomize it. Okay, so Tim, what do we got going on here?
Oh, so check this out, right? So KE0VIM, the Traveling Ham. I think he's in the chat watching with us.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite channels that I just kind of, when I catch him, I catch him because he goes to all these really cool places, that I would love to go to. However, I don't. He's got an idea for making digital modes great again, right? For Friday nights being on like JS8 call or something like that. Here's the thing. I like FT8. It's okay. It's fine. But I'm not a hater, but I don't love it, right?
Everybody has different toys for their sandbox.
Everybody's got. I mean, I get it, but I remember the old JT65, which was a lot of fun when I first got started, being able to do that. And those digital modes, I think, were fun. And PSK was a lot of fun, and RIDI contests were fun and stuff like that. So, a digital alternative to FT8, because there's a lot of people on there, and it's hard to get through. The 20-meter FT8 or 40-meter FT8, during the busy times, if you try to find a spot on the waterfall or anything, you could be out of luck. And there's a lot of operators on there that like to use a lot of power. So you get, some of the weaker signals don't necessarily always come through. So he put out a video, or a tweet and a video, actually, I should say, about doing like a Friday night digital mode. What is ham radio Twitter? Do you mean actual Twitter? Yes. But it's
now known as X, right?
Okay, so ham radio Twitter is Twitter minus all the hibbity hack with the, all the junk that comes through, So if you sign up for Twitter and you're out there and you end up following and liking and reposting ham radio content on Twitter, that's what I'm referring to as ham radio Twitter. Because I like that. I don't like, I don't need to see cat videos necessarily. Some of the
I definitely don't need to see cat videos, for the record.
The political stuff that goes on there gets a little weird, every now and then. It's just, but I'm interested in the ham radio stuff, right? So I do it for that. And I know, like the Traveling Ham is on there, Mike's on there, the punk rock ham radio guy is there. I used to see Walt a lot. I don't see him that much anymore. It sounds like he went to Facebook, which I'll never do. And a couple others. But anyway, it's a fun little community. So the idea is Friday nights to do an alternative digital mode with all the ham people there. And I think that's a wonderful idea, because I love digital modes. I don't necessarily love FT8. So that's what that's about.
Tim, have you tried Vera AC?
Yeah, that's email more or less, right? Or like
no, you can do keyboard to keyboard mode on that. You can call CQ and all of that.
Well, he's suggesting JS8 call, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah,
and I like JS8 call, but it's underused. It's underutilized, right? Have you guys used JS8 call at all? No, check it out. It's fun, but
you have Vera HF, which is the email program WinLink, and you have Vera AC, which is the chat keyboard.
See, I'm already confused. Yeah.
You lost me about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, what? More software. Yeah, no. But JS8 call is kind of like PSK 31 used to be, but it's got some additional features to it, and there's more activity on there. Like I think the S2 Underground, the GhostNet happens on JS8 call. I know the Tech Preppers got a group on JS8 call, and you can go there and you can call CQ, but it's rare that you're going to actually get a call back.
I agree.
So he's organizing a thing to get people to use this at like a specific date and a specific time, which I think is a wonderful idea and I fully support. So that's what that tweet is about. So if you're on Ham Radio Twitter, check that out, because that's going to be fun. He did it last week, And I got there late. I got there a couple hours late, but he actually made some contacts on there. So maybe next month, I don't know. I'll do some screen captures of some stuff and see how it goes this time.
So if we've got people watching this, they should link up with you, N9SAB, on X, and they can check out the stuff you think is cool.
Yeah, or the Traveling Ham. Actually, I think he's at KE0VIM on Twitter, or check it out his YouTube channel because I know he's mentioned it a couple of times.
Beautiful.
I'm in. I fully support it. Even
Good
though
stuff.
Rob would rather watch paint dry, I still think it's a lot of fun for those for the younger crowd, for the Gen Xers and the other people that are on ham radio.
Good stuff. Okay, let's see if this works. No, it didn't work. So hang on a sec here. And it's technologically challenged.
These are just highlights, right? I mean, there's in the course of a month, you come across a couple of tweets that are, that's really interesting, or I wish I knew more about that, or wouldn't this be more fun? So somebody put out, and I have looked for one of these, not very hard, to be honest with you, because I like things that are spoon-fed me like everybody else. And he put out, this fellow put out an SWR chart. So for all the SWR bros out there, right, that are trying to get a 1.0 every time they put up an antenna, these are the actual losses that you experience with an SWR.
Caveat, what kind of feed line are we talking about?
Good question. I don't know. You should get on Twitter and post that out. I would imagine that's probably going to be like an RG8X or something like that. It's not going to be a 316 or RG58 that some people use.
With open wire line or twin lead, you're not really going to have much.
It's going to be different. Yeah, it's going to be different at all times. But the point is, right? The point is that when you have a 1.5 to 1 SWR, you're only talking about a 4% loss of efficiency, right?
You're fine.
Even if you're up at 2, it's 11%.
And I was running tests on the Fleep, and I was getting portions of the band were at 2, but it didn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to notice the difference at the far end.
No. And I don't know if you know there's another guy on YouTube called the Florida Ham guy or something. What's this? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Florida Ham guy.
Yeah, he's done some really good segments on that too, about don't flip about SWR if it's 1.8 or 1.9, because you're not going to experience any appreciable difference in the performance.
Correct.
All right, good stuff. All right,
and he talks about there's a lot of myths out there concerning SWR and feed line loss and those things.
Sure.
And for the majority of us, it doesn't make any difference. You're not going to notice it unless your rig is sensitive, doesn't have power folding back, and you blow your finals. But this is a technical hobby. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as you're not running into a 10-to-1 mismatch.
Correct.
Yeah, and if you're running FT8 at 100 watts, a 2.5 SWR is probably not the best thing to have.
I would not do ever. You're going to have to overload your finals.
You'll hurt your radio. Don't worry about what the antenna's doing. It's the radio that gets hurt at that point. So here's another one, right? So the Traveling Ham put out this. It's a really cool video, and he's in a canyon somewhere, and trying to figure out what the ideal angle of radiation would be to get out of the canyon, right? So he had this method about counting. You remember Survivor Man, and you wanted to know how long it would be before the sunset, and it was 4 fingers for every hour or something like that. He's got a similar method to that, as to calculate what an angle of radiation would be. And I thought it was a nice tie-in to what we were talking about with Ray, with some of the geology that you've got around there that absorbs or reflects particular radio waves. So that I thought was a great video. Somebody should check that out too.
Yep. Okay.
Now Rob put a little smarty pants comment down there too.
Oh, he did. I see that. Yeah.
Rob's so salty on Twitter. I love it. It's great.
Hey, Rob is a friend. Rob is a friend of the channel. We like
following Rob.
Rob, I owe you an email reply. I will get back to you. Thanks for reaching out on that. Okay, let me see what the next one is.
You got another one?
Oh yeah.
And this is a narrow sampling of probably 100 good tweets that I've seen over the past month. But the man said I got to get it down to like 5. So I just
darn, Chris, you got to stop that.
I'm doing told like everybody else. Okay, so the Tech Prepper put out a video on the JSA call text-to-speech messaging and mapping proof of concept, which I thought was super interesting. That's worth checking out too.
Speaking
No
of
spoilers. No spoilers. I'll just put it out there. If you haven't seen it, that's cool.
all right, what else?
The paint, when it dries, takes on this sheen, after about an hour or so. And you can tell
Okay, look at these guys.
Yeah, see, they have a logo, and they have their own Twitter account.
Yeah.
And they have like a theme song and like an intro stuff. And I thought it would be a really good idea to see what the rest of the world is doing with regard to
Streams.
logo. Yeah, we should do it. We should do a logo. I think that's fun.
So I just want to wind back the clock. Oh, about, I don't know, not quite 3 years
never going to
ago.
live this down. I'm never going to live this down, am I?
And I came to my two pals, Chris and Tim. At that time, he was Chris, not Dr. Chris. I said, guys, we need a name for our stream. Let's find something catchy. And I'm telling you, it was like herding cats. And so we sort of devolved into this no-name stream, the stream with no name. I mean, that's a name unto itself, and it's got that Clint Eastwood type vibe to it. We could we could get those skinny little cigars. We could get those Mexican ponchos, those wonderful, leather hats. I think that might be a good look.
Why don't we ask our viewers what would you call it?
So,
okay, so
I gave up on that. At the bottom line, it's like
the real story is that yes, that happened. He did come to us and he said we should do this, this, and this. And I said, well, okay, wait, time out before we launch, full bore into this. Why don't we just see how it goes? Right? Let's see how it goes. So you want to do music, we can always do that at a later date. Let's just see how comfortable we are doing this and see if there's any response out there for this kind of thing. That was 3 years ago. Okay. So maybe the thing has kind of evolved since then and we can start thinking about these things. I mean, I don't, maybe.
Tracy, right. I know an artist who might do a logo for you. We can talk offline about that. He did my QSL cards.
We just need to know what to call it.
My dad had.
Listen, we could come up with 1,000 names. Grok will come up with something. I always like the low power hour because we're kind of like
I love that.
Chris
didn't like it.
Tracy's out of that, so that's misrepresentation.
Okay, hold on. Did you guys even watch my field day video where I trotted out the FP817 and the 705?
I had it on like 8 speed.
Of course.
Listen, Tracy,
we noticed
by your most recent thumbnail. And what was it? Life's too short for QRP.
You know what? And I got my buddy Kevin K0KLB who gave me a high five virtual for that one. So I think I'm good.
You were on 75 meters a lot during field day. So yeah, we did watch it.
I was absolutely. Well, there's no way. Like with atmospheric noise of S9, QRP wasn't getting through down there. I don't care what antenna you have.
Don't use force, get a bigger hammer.
You got to cut through.
Yeah. All right. Let me see here.
I just wanted to tease a little bit because we could come up with a goofy name and $50 on Upwork will get us a logo. And we could do 4-color, right, and make some cards or like a 8-color digi or something like that for the printing and stickers, and then we get some merch.
Well,
merch going.
We had AI do that picture of Tracy like Indiana Jones with a couple of girls, and he's holding a fish. So
fish, yeah.
I'm just saying. I know we're not big. We may be big in Japan. I don't know, but we could probably do something. We've reached another stage in our development. I think we could work with something like that. It would be fun.
I'm open to the conversation, guys. But speaking of big, Tim, you found this antenna by our friend, the other Tim.
Best
antenna to be a big signal for 40-meter portable.
That's another good one. He's done a couple of really good videos lately with this one, and then do you have the other one?
And by the way, you know what? I don't think I've got another one queued up for Tim.
Okay, well, he did one on dipole versus quarter wave vertical, I think, or short vertical
Okay.
for daytime versus nighttime on
Yeah.
40 meters and stuff like that. And he said, yeah, he that is a channel that doesn't get enough attention, I think, because he does some really quality work.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Tim's excellent.
And in fact, I think the DX Expander guy did one similar to that too, where he had some, ginormous 4 vertical array or something like that to, I don't know, talk to Mars or something, worried about whether or not it was going to, how effective it was at day versus night. Listen, it's all awesome. I love it, but I'm putting up a dipole. I'm just that kind of guy.
That's right.
Yep. All right. No, good stuff. Okay. Let me see what, I got to get rid of that one. I'm just going to reduce some windows here, guys. I'll be right back with you here. Did that one. Oh, we didn't. Oh, you know what, Tim? Just going back to Twitter for just a moment. Let me see if I can get this one up here. You had mentioned this one as well. So this is W6KSR.
Yes, this was to highlight the Lighthouse and Lightship weekend, which I think was last weekend, if I'm not mistaken, which crept up on me, right? Because I wanted to go activate the lighthouse here in the harbor,
right?
And it was okay. So if you've seen the punk rock guy's video where he goes out onto this long breakwater, and at the end of it is a giant cast iron lighthouse. That's what I'm dealing with too. Only he's got space around his. Mine's got maybe a couple of feet on either side, and you're in the drink, with the rocks and all the other stuff like that. It rained, I think, anyway, so it was like, forget it. But it was kind of like the same circumstances that I'm dealing with here. But I just wanted to call attention belatedly to the Lighthouse weekend. But he gets to go out. Look at that beach. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I don't know where he's at in that one, right? Is he on the?
I think Rob VE3PCP. He gets together with a group that goes out to one of the lighthouses on the eastern shore of Lake Huron.
Oh, really?
And he's done lighthouse weekend
cool.
in the past.
Yeah. That's like my second favorite thing in ham radio is when they do lighthouse and lightships and like battleships and stuff like that. When they activate battleships, that's awesome.
That is fun. All right. Here is one more on Twitter. I got lost in the tabs. So this is Julian, OH8STN.
Yeah. So we got into, there's a little back and forth. You can see Philip in there, right?
Oh yeah. Troublemaker.
Talking about ruggedization of ham radio equipment and just how everybody focuses on, well, he says it best. He says manufacturers service the contest and park bench communities. There's almost nothing for those whose lives depend on, well, I don't know about lives, but it could happen, right? Whose lives depend on lightweight man-portable communications, right? Well, I can think of one who does, but he's primarily talking about radios and things like that, and he's fallen in love with that Lab 599.
Yes.
The T2000 or whatever it is, the little
MP
handheld. What is it?
TX500 MP.
The TX500 MP. There you go. And I just thought that was interesting too, because you don't see a lot of ruggedized equipment for people out there, right? Other than antennas. I mean, there are some ruggedized antennas.
Yeah. I'd be really interested, Philip, to hear your take on this. You work with the military. What's your take on ruggedized gear for the ham community?
Well, let's be practical about it. Ruggedized equipment's one step of manufacturing costs more. You're going to pay money for it. Most hams don't want us. Hams are notoriously cheap. We all know this. There's not really a market for it. If there's no market for it, they're not going to do it. And this is evidence. If you go on Etsy and you see all these protective cages that are being manufactured and 3D printed for like the 705, the other radios, the FT891, the Zygu 6100, Zygu 6200, and the G90. There's protective cages built for. None of these radios are IP 66, 65, 67 radio. You get them wet, they die. And that's just the way it is. Now you can get a man pack off of eBay right now. One I've been looking at was a ANPRC 515, $900, but that's a 30, 40-year-old radio.
Here's the thing, too. All of the militarized,
They break.
It's heavy.
They're heavy.
It's
They're
heavy.
channelized. They're not meant for making quick frequency changes. I mean, if you want to get a military rugged radio, they're being made right now. It's Codan's one of them. I mentioned it's a 4-figure radio. It's probably about $3,000 for, and it doesn't have a VFO knob on it. It's meant for channelized HF. It's got a built-in tuner, but you could dunk it in the swimming pool. It wouldn't matter. But most hams don't want or need that sort of ruggedness. It's a very small niche market. Now, years ago, you had Vertex Standard, which was part of Yaesu or whatever the situation was. They had a radio called the VX1210, which was a ruggedized commercial grade transceiver, and the HF Manpack community loved it. They don't make it anymore. It was a commercial Manpack, but with Manpacks, you have minimal features. You're not going to get a band scope. You may have pre-programmed frequencies or you got a little knob for each digit. Look at the PRC, the RT320 by Ray Cal, that kind of frequency selection. You got a digit for the tens and for every kilohertz up, down. If you're lucky, you'll get 100 kilohertz resolution. And that's fine if you're sticking on a frequency, but wear your fingers out if you like to change frequencies a lot. It's just not a market for it, Tracy. It really isn't.
I thank you, and that sort of mirrors the way I felt about it. Now I got a couple of questions about it. One question, I guess, and one comment. I guess the comment would be, first of all, okay, so you have a problem with your Yaesu or your Kenwood or your ICOM. Well, then you get the vendor there who can help you, get that thing fixed, right? They're going to charge you for it, but now you get into one of these man packs. What the heck is it going to take to get that sucker fixed? Can it still be fixed? Would it be exorbitant and just not worth it at that point? Right. So that's got to be a real consideration with these units as well.
That's why I no longer own a man pack. A lot of the stuff, the old antique is expensive, and if you don't have the skills, you're out of luck. You've got a very expensive doorstop.
When I was in the service, we had a commo platoon for that, right? And they had a whole section of the motor pool set aside for just them. And there was 5 guys, and they would take the radios off the tanks and all the Humvees and stuff like that and cycle them out. And if there was a problem or whatever, it was a serious operation. And that was
you could get, if you buy antiques, they're reasonably priced. Like I said, the PRC 515, which you can buy right now off of eBay, but they're old, and a lot of them have special purpose designed and manufactured ICs in them. You can't go to Mouser or DigiKey and buy a replacement. You're hosed unless you've got a parts unit. You can pull it off a board, or you can buy a more recent unit like a Harris PRC 138. That's serious money for that, and they will probably repair it for you.
Yeah, but see, Mike is right. They need to give us a rugged all-mode, all-band radio with a small form factor to build and a pan adapter, right, or something close, and for $499, because that's all I'm going to pay.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's it.
That's angel dust.
Okay, so here's what you do. We can do this. You're going to go buy that G106. You're going to go buy yourself a roll of bubble wrap.
Yeah,
and you're going to get some
and tinfoil
tape.
You got to worry about EMP.
There you go, man. There you go. As a matter of fact, for $500, you could buy 2 of them.
That's right. Well, listen, you buy one
to go.
You buy one. If it gets wet and dies, you throw it in the trash and you get the other one out.
And that's really, and that's really, I think where people are at.
Now, my favorite man pack of all time was a PRC 2000 made by Phillips Mill. I like the company, obviously. You could drop that thing a meter on concrete and it would survive.
Yeah.
But for the prepper guys out there, I think you just take a G106 and you go 3 deep with it, Or
That's it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Philip, let me ask you one more question on these man pack type radios. Do they use special power supplies, or will they run just off a regular 12-volt battery? Like
the majority of man packs that you run into, they're designed to run off military vehicles as a charging, and so they're 24 volts type battery packs. Now, one exception to that was the Datron Transworld PRC 1099, and I had one of those. They'll run off 12 volts. And foolishly, I sold that radio about a decade ago. But Datron Transworld is no longer making the PRC 1099. I mean, they're cool radios. It was probably the most user-friendly one it was in terms of changing frequency.
Yeah,
Very minimal features. A robust automatic antenna tuner inside of it. Looked like a PRC 77 or PRC 25 in form factor. Tim might know what I'm talking about.
I do, actually.
It's the identical form factor as those things. PRC 25 and 77, they used those in Vietnam and low band VHF from about 30 to 88 megahertz, I think it was.
I carried
But
one when
you were a target if you were the unit radio man. You turned the man pack upside down so the whip went down towards the ground because you're going to be the first guy they try to shoot.
used to call in arty strikes on my Prick 77.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, if you want, but if you have the means, there's a whole niche secondary market out there for like the used military equipment. So like I see the old Klansman radios and
I had the 320
sale all the time. You know, they're pricey, but there it is.
Right now, you can get a complete Klansman RT 320 kit for under $1,000. That's everything.
That's not
Including
bad.
a little crank that you get your
Yeah,
children as
yeah.
slaves to charge your batteries up. So,
Hey,
You gotta
Chris,
say-
when I was asking for suggestions for videos that you enjoyed recently, you sent across this one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
talk to us about it.
So this guy, right? I mean, we've talked about these guys before. This channel, right?
Oh, we've
was
had
on the
him.
show.
We had Chris on the line on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I liked about this video was he speaks our language. He set up his gear. He says basically he was saying if you're look at the title, preparing for Parks and Air. If you're going to go out, it really talked to like beginners getting out to do Parks and Air. But it also is a reminder for all of us. It's like it's good every once in a while to take the gear out in the backyard, set it up, and make sure everything works, right? Rather than get out there and find out the hard way. So
that's very sound advice.
yes, so it's a great little video that he put together here. And what really got me is I was watching it. I think it's either an FT18 or 17, which rig he had. And he was using a little. I don't have it with me. One of those little like solar power supply, right? But it's a small one. I have the same one that I bring out to where I bring out camping, right? Ran the radio off of that. And what did I see on the table? But the iconic, camo bag. And I said, "Oh, I know what's in that." And he said, "Man, that SAB, whatever antenna it was." And he strung it up in his yard and he tested it. And I was like,
Beautiful.
that's just, I watched the video. In fact, I don't know if I'm one of the more recent comments, but I put a comment. This is great advice. It's a great thing to remind everybody.
Mhm.
If you're new to POTA, do it at home first to make sure everything works. And if not, then every once in a while we should all just take the gear out and just
My favorite park is in the backyard, man.
that's it, man. Just fire it up, make sure everything works. That's all. So anyway, that's why you said like something that was interesting, and it interested me because it was refreshing to see other guys saying the same thing we've been saying. So
Yeah. All right. Give me one.
Yeah, it's
second.
kind of like my second activation. I went to my local park and I got into a special spot that was fabulous. So I'm going through my stuff. I said, "Where's my antenna bag?"
Mm.
So I had to go 8 miles back home,
right.
get my
Whoa.
antenna bag. And this park's nearby, but by the time I got back, my favorite spot had been taken.
Tracy would have jogged that.
Oh,
like,
The
man.
radio, the
30 minutes.
batteries,
Well,
I was
now
ready to go.
in the beginning, my POTA activations were local, right? So I could run back home and get stuff if I forgot. But now it's like we're on a camping trip, so we got gear set up. We're like, we're an hour and a half from home. It's like I'm not running home to get something. So I think that's why I've got that big pack that's got everything I could possibly think of in it. So anyway,
2 is 1, 1 is none.
that's right.
All right. Hey, Philip, since you have the floor, you mentioned this video right here from Tech Minds.
Oh yeah, I saw this one too.
Good channel.
Oh no way.
The G90, I think, in terms of what the price point is, You can get these for under $500. They've got an absolutely fabulous and built-in antenna tuner in them. They only draw about half an amp and receive, which isn't the best there is, but it's not bad. It's less receive draw than the 897. It's a very versatile radio. The price point's right there. I know they've sold a lot of them, and they've been selling them for quite a while. Mm-hmm. I was impressed with the video because it basically hit all the high points. Because 20 watts with a decent antenna is really all you need. If the difference between a 20-watt radio and a 100-watt radio is virtually indistinguishable. They have great sounding transmit audio. The processor works fabulous. You get a lot of comments on how good the audio sounds. You've got a fairly decent pan adapter on it, even though it's a little small.
You got a bolt-on one though, right? Didn't you get wasn't there like a option that you could get to like a pan adapter separate?
Yes, I did. I got a Quantum SDR unit, which I'm still.
Oh, you had one of those.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Because apparently, I could hook one up to my SG 2020.
Sure,
which is a pretty cool.
Yes, you could. And then we got busy here, so I was going to load some new firmware on it to make it work better. So I'm going to grab it from the other room and show it to you.
Do it
if you'd like me to.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. While we're doing
while we're waiting, and we're going to talk Tracy into picking up a G90 and start using that.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But one of the things I wanted to ask.
Why do you just shut it down? Like
yeah, I did. No, you noticed that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
you're very subtle with it.
And it hurts my heart.
It hurts my heart under the radar.
The vanguard of the QRP movement for 10 or 15 years won't try.
Did you happen to see the cursor on the screen? This would be Walt's video where his G90 died.
Yeah, read the rest of it.
I'm just saying. I
read the rest of it. What did he say? Here's the easy fix.
It died. Listen, those are the key words. You learn to do some critical thinking while you're reading a headline. It died. Those are the critical words.
So your backup radio is your 817, your 818, something like that.
How about an SG 2020 with a backup of an 817?
Or you could do that too.
Works for me.
All right.
The guy
made
they're
in
out
America,
of Spain,
made SG 2020 made in America,
okay.
And not funding the Chinese world takeover.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
Right.
Tracy, listen, don't hold back. Do you have any strong opinions about it?
We're going to crowdfund you. We're going to crowdfund you a G90.
Let's take this back to a place where
say again.
I'm not going to offend a whole bunch of G90 owners. What do you got?
We're going to crowdfund a G90 for Tracy, and he's never going to look back.
The display on the G90, I think, is maybe 2 inches or maybe a little less. And
you know what? Honestly, I wanted to ask that question because I am thinking with my eyes, they're not getting any better. I'm going to have a devil of a time with that display, right? And so you're saying that we've got that's the Quantum SDR. Please tell us about it.
Well, I will tell you right off the bat, it's not for a beginner. It's got a very steep learning curve on it. There are some things you have to be aware of when you do your setup and how you connect the cables to it. It can be driven either via an IF output on any radio. And for some radios like the 897 or the FT817 or the SG2020, you've got to tap off the interior of one of the circuit boards to get the IF out. If you don't have an IQ output, which the G90 does, what the manufacturer is going to be coming out with in the fall, they say, is they've got a bolt-on. Well, not really a bolt-on. It's going to clip onto this unit. And it'll be a 15-watt transmitter with a VFO knob on it. But this is the M4 version. The latest version is the only one that'll do that. And it's also a standalone receiver. You just put an antenna on the SMA on the side, and it'll work as a standalone receiver. But it's got a pretty steep learning curve on it. You really got to read the manual.
It's just a big.
But what you do is you set this up on your desk. and it's the size the G90 just sits down on top of it. So you got the G90 at an angle, and you've got this display. And the way you change frequencies right now with this is resistive stylus. Yeah, you just do your little thing on that. But I haven't touched it in 2 weeks because school just started up with the girls, and it's just been busy around here.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some videos on it.
I plan on doing one.
Yeah. Some.
We're also getting near the end of the FY fiscal year in the Army, and I work for the Army as their electrical engineer. We're just busy all get out right now.
Oh, yeah. Got to spend that money. It's a busy time of year. I mean, I deal with government accounts here in Canada, and it's March, which is the time frame that
September 30th.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is a very cool product, Philip. I am really looking forward to seeing how you get on with that. And honestly, if I had one bone to pick with the G90, other than it being Chinese, it's that display. It's like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking 2 inches, man. I have a hard time with that.
I've gotten so used to my 817 and my other Yaesu manufactured radios without waterfalls or anything like that I don't even notice it anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
It might as well not be there. You could put something else there for it. I'm not feeling like I'm missing out.
Cool.
No FOMO.
All right.
No FOMO here.
Beautiful thing. All right. Philip, speaking of portable operations and things that Tim finds funny, Klingman's Dome.
That's the gauntlet.
So,
are you double parked there, my friend? What are you doing?
That is the second highest peak east of the Mississippi. Mount Mitchell is the highest peak east of the Mississippi, but it's still tore up, and they have it just closed for about a year due to the Hurricane Helene coming up. So I went up to Cullowhee, which is an Indian name. They changed it. It used to be called Klingman's Dome. There's a very small cul-de-sac up there. I had to go do about 3 loops around the cul-de-sac before I finally had a parking spot. And this is about what antennas. Now, the antenna I was using is not my first choice in any situation. It is what it is. This was the only way I could get up an antenna that wouldn't have problems with people running into it. That's half of a spider beam 12-meter pole. I broke my first one. That's a 6-meter spider beam pole. And I made a custom socket on the top of it. And I've got a chameleon impasse with a 25-foot whip on the top of it. Man, I made about 70 contacts with that. Most of them were CW, but that was a very high traffic area. And I'm a friendly person. Every 5 minutes, somebody come up and say, "What you doing?" And so you stop and you talk to them about it. And it was a really nice experience. I got out of there right before the rain started, but it's very pretty. I had a retired Marine, give me some grief for working for the Army, and I gave it right back to him. I said, "Look, I'm not the problem. The Crayola company can't keep up with orders, okay?" So that's the guy.
Yeah. But as you're operating there,
I didn't have any Karens come up and give me grief. A little girl come up, and I put her on the radio for a minute. Her and her dad. It was very positive interaction. I mean, I can talk to anybody. If you're friendly, and I'll. But see, I had a custom hitch mount that I assembled from pieces off of Amazon, and there's a guy on Etsy that makes the 3D printed brackets to hold the spider beam 12-meter pole.
Yep, I have a video coming out on those.
and FT897 in the bed of my ridgeline worked very well. But some of these places you're very limited on what you can put up because of pedestrian traffic, and that's just a fact of life.
Yeah,
and I used a feed line as a counterpoise in addition to a pair of 17-foot whips going out horizontally for counterpoise. So it wasn't just a whip on top. I think at some point in that video you might see what I had. So the impasse loop with 25-foot whip and two 17-foot horizontal ones.
And you got out?
Say again?
You were able to make contacts with that?
I made 71 contacts altogether.
There you go. Nice.
It wasn't bad.
And what blew me away is that's a busy place, Philip.
It's very
there was
busy.
a constant parade of cars going by, literally feet from where you were operating.
Tour
They're all trying to
buses.
get to the clean air.
But you couldn't see anything because you're up in the clouds, literally, and the clouds were up there. I mean, I didn't have any good views. You looked out and you couldn't see anything.
That strikes me
Water
as
Rock
very
Knob the day before was clear as could be, and it's only a couple 100 feet lower than Klingman's Dome. That was a nice little day there. And I had somebody come up and engage me in conversation, very friendly people. I'd had no bad experiences with people walking up and, if they gave me a guess, said, I'm working for the government. This is a classified operation. You need to leave now.
Perfect.
So I've never had to say that to anybody. Everybody was very nice, but don't expect you're just going to sit there and not have to interact with the public. It's just,
that's true.
But Tim will tell you, I'm a friendly guy. Even though I'm an engineer, I do have social skills. So.
A rare breed.
That's right.
It's not get carried away.
I'm related to engineers.
Let's not get carried away here. Okay,
I've got good engineers.
There are social skills and there are social skills. All right.
Listen, Philip, I have a double E hanging up somewhere, so it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good stuff. Let me just.
Hello, Miss Sherry said hey. She's hungry. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Sherry.
What else?
Oh, there you go.
Sherry. Okay.
All
right. I got another one to share here. That is, and you know what? We've been making reference to this all night. And here's our friend.
Yeah.
God bless him. He is wow.
Kevin has the spirit of experimentation.
He sure does.
And plus his attitude and his way of approaching life. I really enjoy watching his videos.
How on earth he only has 3,000 subscribers? I have no idea.
Yeah, if you're watching this, please go over, subscribe to Ham Radio QRP. Here's the other thing I don't get. Is, if you go on to look at one of my videos, you may see suggested videos on, Polydent or something like that. Look what Kevin gets over on his channel. He gets this beautiful lady walking down a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's AI, but that's okay.
But he does what I think is he exemplifies what's the main. He's in counter to the typical attitude out there. Well, that's not going to work. That's never going to work. That doesn't line up with the theory, this and that. That's what it said in the antenna book, yada, yada, yada.
Remember when he loaded up
I've had people tell me something's not going to work, and I'm going out and break pileups with the antenna. And he's experimenting.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Ham Radio is all about.
And I think it's fabulous. And he dropped a video today that just blew me away. But I love his videos. I wish I lived closer to him. I'd hang out with him.
I was going to say,
I mean, I like that. But
it's this close to making me want to move to Iowa, right? It's like, oh my goodness, it looks so wonderful, and the drone shots that he does and stuff like that. It's great. I love it.
He's amazing.
Videos are very well produced.
Yes.
Kevin, if you're still with us, we'd sure like to get together in Dayton next year if we can make that happen. If you can find your way there, be nice to sit down and have a dinner or something.
There's his comment.
He just replied.
Yeah.
I like that. Good stuff. All right. Let's I've got a couple. I think we got a couple more that
we haven't seen any from you. What are you had some preferences, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I had a couple that were quite interesting. I found very interesting. So let me just get those going here. So, guys, I don't know if it must have been a couple months ago. We were talking about, somebody said you could still buy a new Yaesu FT 8900 quad band mobile on Amazon for $500. And Tim, I remember you making a comment about, you order that and you're going to get a block of wood inside, right? Because Yaesu isn't making them anymore.
There's truth to that block of wood story. I don't know. Did I ever tell you Next time it comes up, let me give you the backstory on the Black
Well,
Wood.
why don't you give us the backstory right here and now?
Okay, I was in high school, right? So we were out late one night, Friday night, Saturday night, drinking, and there was
No.
there's a little greasy stand that was open 24 hours, right? So it's 2:00 in the morning, and there's like 8 of us, and we pull up. It's called Jordy's, right? And you would go in and you could get you get a hamburger, and the hamburger was a hamburger with a slice of cheese and a jalapeno pepper in it, and a brown bag with fries for $1.
Wow.
So at the end of the night, that's where everybody ended up. So we all
Hell
go in.
yeah.
So there was a guy in the parking lot, and I had a buddy of mine. His name was Mark. I won't give his full name in case he's out there somewhere. But these two guys had a big box in the back of their car, and it was a TV, right? It was a television, and they were trying to sell this television in the parking lot at 2 a.m. on some summer night at Jordy's. And so he's going back and forth, and these guys are, and everybody else is getting food, and he's over there haggling with them. Oh no, it's $50, it wouldn't fit, or my mom's making me get rid of it, or something like that. He's got the box, and he had this remote. He had the remote for it, right? And so here's the remote. You can see, and it was a real remote. And so so they settled on the price. He ends up buying the damn thing, right? He gets it open. The guys take off. He opens up the box. It's a thing of wood. to give the box weight, right? So I will always remember that. I never laughed so hard.
Back in the day when VCRs were big, you could
it was
guys on the street corners in New York selling VCRs.
It literally was block of wood.
Or it was a phone book. Yeah.
So whenever something like that comes up, I always remember Mark, and and he was so mad. Yeah, that stupid block of wood. That was hilarious. Oh, it still hurts.
It still hurts. Okay, good stuff. So here we go. Back to the old fake Yesu. So this guy goes and buys, this is his channel, Kevin O'Reilly, and I watched it. I thought, fake FT7900 at first look. Okay, I'm going to watch this, see what this is. Now, I don't think Mr. O'Reilly did his homework before publishing. I think this was just literally, it's like, I'm going to make a video and not really think about what I'm doing too much here. This looks to be a genuine Yesu, specifically for the Chinese market.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the chin for?
Exactly. It's made in Japan. It's got, he opens it up. He shows the whole packaging. It looks completely legitimate. The unit itself looks completely legitimate, but it's only for sale into the Chinese market. So you've got all the manuals are all in Chinese. These might actually be real Yesu radios. This is the idea I got. Now he still thinks he's dealing with a fake one, but I think these are probably real Yesus that are just being sold into China. And if the worst thing that can happen is that you've got Chinese documentation, then it might be a good deal. I don't know about, when you talk about international radios, you have to worry about things like band coverage, because certain bands, portions of bands, are not available in all countries. This is true of Japanese radios.
Sure.
Where you buy them for the Japanese market and you bring it over here used or whatever, you find out, half of 40 meters isn't there.
Oh yeah,
and you can't modify it.
I bought my 450. I can't get 60 meters on it unless I do a Mars mod, because at the time it was the Alaskan Emergency Channel or something like that, and 60 meters wasn't a thing.
Yeah, well, worse than that is that apparently Japanese radios have some kind of ROM in them that don't allow them to be opened up so that you can restore, let's say, American or Canadian or British band limits. So it is definitely a danger. You better do your research before ordering one of these.
Oh, so you can't do a Mars mod on a Chinese radio?
Correct. Well, at least on ones for I'm using the Japanese ones as an example.
Right.
I don't know about these ones.
But they're made for the Chinese market, so probably the CCP doesn't allow you to open them up.
I'm
Probably
sort
not.
of thinking that's probably the case, right?
I would believe that if I heard it.
Yeah.
If that's a bona fide 7900, it's a good radio.
Very good radio.
Yeah.
But you take in a bit of a gamble, and they were selling them cheap. I think something like $200 US, for a radio that's not made anymore. I don't know, just you pays your money and you takes your chances with something like that. But I thought that was very interesting. Okay. Last month, I did go to a local ham radio swap meet, and I've been looking for a watt meter for a long time. That's one thing that I didn't have in my collection. And it came to me when I was out doing some experimentation last year. A watt meter would have been a very handy thing to have. I came across this Daiwa. This is a CN101L, and somebody was selling it for $50. I talked him down to $35.
That sounds about right.
You know what? And I thought, it'll be okay. I did some research on them when I got home, because I knew about them anyway. A lot of complaints on Daiwa meters being inaccurate. And I think when it comes to analog meters, I think back to high school when I took an electrical course. Basically it was a basic electricity. They taught us something about analog meters, and I presume, Chris, you know this, Philip, and I imagine Tim, you probably do as well. What do we know is a basic truth about any analog meter?
Instruments need to be calibrated.
Instruments need to be calibrated,
and your calibration is usually a reference to a full scale reading. I think if you get 10% on a bird 43, you're doing pretty good. That may be 5. I don't remember.
And you kind of have a standard too.
It's not accurate across the entire scale, right?
Nope.
It's mostly accurate within a range on that scale. And if you go on to eHam and you read some of the reviews on Daiwa meters, for example, again and again, it's not accurate. This thing's a piece of junk. I took it back right away. Well, this video here, a fellow by the name of Tony Albus, I believe he's out of the Netherlands. He takes it apart and he shows you exactly how to calibrate it. And it's incredibly simple. It's ridiculous. You take a small screwdriver, you turn a pot, and done. And
I've got one of those.
So I found this tremendously helpful. Thank you, Tony. It's a great video, and he walks through the whole thing. But I just think we were talking earlier about, the quotation marks hams that study the question bank.
Right.
They don't know much about theory.
Correct.
And all this stuff flies over their heads.
Right.
Right. They don't really understand the nature of the tools they're working with. And so you have to be careful. I've pondered over the years doing a video on how to read eHam reviews, because you have to be a critical thinker when you're reading critical reviews on products. There are so many variables involved that that well-worded objection to a product may turn out to be completely unfounded.
Correct.
All right, so there's that one. That's number 1 there. I've got another one here. Do I have another one? Or is that it, Iowa? No, I guess that's it, guys. I thought I had another one, but that's all I've got. All right, so let's bring this in. I guess we are at the we're at the 2-hour mark, gentlemen.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I guess so. Well, that's all. I think we're going to put a bow on this one, because no wonder I'm feeling pretty peaked at this point. Hey, Chris, had a good conversation tonight. You have any parting shots for us before we close this one?
No, all good. Philip, good to see you again. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely lots to chew on from tonight, right? All good.
Yeah. Fantastic. Hey, Tim.
We're just chock full of content, are we? I love it.
Yeah, apparently.
That's awesome.
Hard hitting, hard hitting.
With the hard hitting in your face, with the logo and the theme song. I think we can. I think we can really do something.
Well, you know what? I'm always open to
We
suggestions.
can really
gentlemen.
contribute to the AM radio community.
Dr. Chris could do harmonica and I could do theremin at the same time.
Oh,
There you
can
go.
you imagine that combo, that duet?
That would be a first.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
the
probably
studio
rip a
time,
hole in
or
the
what
fabric
do
of
we
the
do?
universe.
That's right.
All right. Well, I guess that's it then, guys. Philip, appreciate your being here. Thanks for stepping up and spending some time with us.
No problem at all. Like I said, I like to hang around with quality people. That includes you, Tim. And if you need an electrical engineer break glass, I've loved visiting with all of you again. It's been a pleasure and a privilege, and I do appreciate you calling on me again. And Tim and I have some interesting things coming up. It's still in the shadow zone. We can't really talk about it in open. Tim, you're getting fuzzy again. Your camera's
I
not
know.
functioning.
Yeah, I got to recalibrate my camera.
But so we got something we're going to try that nobody else has done before.
I love the sound of it, guys. Looking
Great.
forward to seeing what you come up with.
Great.
All right. Thank you, everybody who's watching live, who will be watching this after the fact. We really appreciate. We do this every month, typically the third Thursday of every month. So please come back and join us. Make sure you get over to Kilo 2, Charlie Juliet Bravo Radio's YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already. And Chris, you've got some new content coming.
Yeah, that's
Tim,
another under the radar channel.
Yeah,
there too.
Well, we're closing in on
the Reverend Doctor.
5,900 subs, so we're getting there.
You're getting close to that 6K mark. That's fantastic. Nice. Keep it going. Aetherwave antennas, Tim, N9SAB. Get over to the Aetherwave site. You'll find you'll find the links, by the way, for these that I'm talking about right here in the description below. Go and click and see what there is. Subscribe to Chris's channel. Subscribe to Philip's channel. Electromagnetic Mischief. Philip's always doing some neat stuff. His videos are always really short, but very entertaining.
They're crisp.
You don't need to hear about my life up until I turned 18 before I give you subject matter.
Absolutely. Love it. It's a perfect thing. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Everybody, great to hear from you, and looking forward to touching base again next month. 7-3.
Good night, everybody.